gets up to the fifth, starts at the root again, the middle root. All right, let's try to do a quick rundown of this. I went over most of it in other keys where it's a little more valuable, I think. But anyway, let's, just run through it. So it starts out, it's all E. I'll note where it changes, but all these are pretty basic. Approach note on E, arpeggio, and then the pivot lick off of the fifth, the B. And a pivot lick, if I never explained it fully, is you play a note and you put that note in between every note. It's pretty self-explanatory. You can pivot off the root. I'm pivoting off the E there, going down. You can go up. If you have any note, really, off the third. And then start on the root and go, well, you can do, whatever you come up with. And by studying Bach, you'll come up with new ideas because you'll be like, oh, I never thought of that. So yeah, we got this pivot lick. It creates a theme that we're going to see a lot of. And it's a scale run. This is a hard scale run because it requires a fourth jump, and I can't really figure out how to finger it. You could play with playing the E in two different places, but I just settled with a thing where I have to flatten out I hate flattening out. I would rather do that, but there's just nothing else to do. It seems to work. Anyway, then there's a brilliant, he plays the pivot lick again, a brilliant scale run. Gets up to the fifth, starts at the root again, the middle root. It's interesting how he doubles the last three notes. And then falls back to the five, and then from there, that starts a pivot lick off the five again. So this is like a response to the first lick. This lick kind of is a variation or a variation. And then my favorite lick of the whole song, which I encourage you to practice in every key. We're on the root. We start with a scale, like we're going to go down the scale. But from the B, falls back to the root. And then does a pivot. C sharp, E, pivots off the E. Pivot off the B. So this is a descending pivot and then an ascending pivot off the B. And repeats it. And this is a cool lick, you can do it off any scale tone. We're on the E, you could take it down to the fifth. Still the E scale though, so it would be like B mixolydian. Or change it to 4, so it's in more 4/4. Then you could do that off any scale tone. The C sharp, it's a more minor sounding. Explore that in all the different, starting from all the different notes. Now, the last time when he gets to the A, he stops and he goes into this other pivot lick, which is a more advanced pivot lick, and I haven't really figured this out yet. I get it, but it's just so it's so advanced. Who would think of this? So he's doubling the E. He's got this theme with the E, E flat, E, E, D sharp, E, and then notes on top of it. But he only only sometimes it's not a straight pivot where you're going like in between every note. For example, that's straightforward. I'm playing an E and then going E, D sharp, E, F sharp, E, D sharp, E. You know, this is like sometimes he plays the, and then sometimes he just doubles the E. And then goes into a straight pivot and repeats this thing. Oh yeah, second time. Uh-oh, I see a mistake in the tab. I might have to add a measure because I don't think I went into the so that leads us to, I'll see if I can fix that, but that leads us to bar 16. We're just playing the E, G sharp E. And then in bar 17 he starts this run. Kind of like tapping. You know, E major 7, E7, A. I'm going to switch back because I'm going to screw this up. A, and then drops the C sharp and the A chord to B, so it's an A at 9. And then drops the A to G sharp, so it's an E. Drops the bass to A, so it's an E at 11. And then changes the top, so it's now an A at 6. And then drops the bass to this, so it's an E at 9. And then just doubles the E, so it's a straight E. And then we get a B sus4. D sharp and E and F sharp. That's kind of like this chord. A B, but with the open E, the sus4. Or at 11, however you want to look at it. So that'll take us to bar 27, where he starts a new theme. 29, he changes, makes it into an E7 by adding the D, and then an E7 arpeggio. And I like this. It's just an approach to get us to the C sharp. So what Bach likes to do, he's on an E7, doing whatever he's doing. He likes to go down 3 frets. Dominant 7, a minor third down. He does it all the time, and he's doing it here. So you know we're in E, and he makes it into E7, and the pull is bang, and then we're on the C sharp 7. And when he does do that, so the E is kind of Mixolydian-ish. When he goes down 3 frets, that dominant chord is darker. He uses like HM5. You know, you're going to see a flat 9 and a flat 13, or sometimes natural 9 with flat 13, which is a melodic minor mode, and flat 7, of course. It's dominant 7, so you got to have flat 7. He's going to use one of those 2 scales. Mixolydian flat 13 or straight HM5. You know, root, flat 9, 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7. So that's always a darker dominant 7. And then so we get the same lick, but with the dark notes, which appear here. There's the flat, 13. Alright, so about 34. We start a whole new thing, which we're going to see a lot of. That line. It's on a C sharp. It's a really cool line. It kind of uses the sus4, or at 11. this is in A, pulling to D. So this is C sharp pulling to F sharp. And then bar 35, we have an F sharp minor. And immediately goes into a G7. He's doing a lot in this song where you're on an F sharp, you're on a minor chord, and then you go up 2 frets to the dominant chord. So that's G sharp 7. Why? Because he's getting us back to the C sharp. So we're on an F sharp minor, go up 2 frets to the, that's kind of like 4 minor, 5 dominant, back to 1. But we're never, the keys are always changing slightly. So F sharp, and then right to G7, bar 35. With that sussel add 11 lick again. And this time, just like we pulled the F sharp, now he's pulling to C sharp minor. And now he does a full arpeggio. And then bar 37 immediately returns to G7, plays with a little chromaticism, all G sharp 7. Now this is still G sharp 7, and he's pivoting off of the flat 7. So he's going 3 flat 7, 4 flat 7, 5 flat 7, 4 flat 7. Major 3rd flat 7, 5. Now it's in G sharp, it's a little harder to see. That's why I moved it to a different key. Because in E you can really see, what he's doing. But it's an F, it's a G sharp 7. And it sounds like we're going somewhere, but we're actually not. We're staying in G sharp tonality. He's just going down to a. Now he sets a really cool chord progression. Just G sharp. Then he goes to the 4 chord, C sharp, minor. But he keeps the G sharp in the bass. And he puts the flat 3rd low down there. So you get this. Back to G sharp. That's just 4 minor, playing with the, bass, keeping the bass on the. Now he goes to the 5 chord. C7, C sharp 7, flat 9, but with the G sharp in the bass. Oh, I'm sorry. It's I really gotta fix this tab. It's an E flat. E flat 7. Or D sharp. See, I hate this key. It's a D sharp 7, but with the G sharp in the bass, which you don't see in modern music that much. Usually the bass will go to D sharp. I did this in another video in a different key, so it's much as I would watch that video. But it's a D sharp 7, flat 9, with the G sharp still in the bass. And then a G sharp sus to G sharp. Really dramatic chord progression, really nice. And now we come to the theme, bar 49, theme 3, a descending theme. So now we're in C sharp minor, stepped on the root, down the scale, then root 5, 4, 3, and then a minor 9, 5, 3, 9, root. Then repeats it, but he skips the first part and goes right to the root 5, 4, 3, minor 9. Now this we're going to see a lot of, this line, but transposed to different modality, like major. Now that's pulling to F sharp 7 with the A sharp and with the 3rd in the bass. Another really nice idea, which I did another video. Great idea to steal. bar 53, that F sharp 7 gets us to a B. And here's the same line, but in B major. And of course, that last line pulls us to the third of E, the 4. And then bar 55, the 4 chord, E7. We get a great 2 bars of E. 2 great ideas. And that E7, Y pulls to A. Pivot lick, arpeggio, major 7, it's all really cool. And then the lick, but now in A. And that takes us to bar 61, where he does the other pivot lick, the more advanced pivot lick. Before. In E, now we're in A. C sharp A, C sharp A. Changes to A major 7, A dominant 7, which of course pulls to D, D at 9, A at 11, D6, A at 9, A, just a straight A, doubled A, and then an E sus, E at 11. So why E at 11? Obviously we're pulling back to A, and he's taken this theme and now doing it in A. Changes to A7, gets the dominant 7 in there. Now again, we're in A7, we're going to go down a minor third to F sharp 7, but a darker F sharp version with flat 9. So we're in A7 to F sharp 7, a dark, with harmonic minor, which is going to bring us to B minor, the 2 chord of A. So we got bar 79, the F sharp dominant, that same lick. B minor. Changes to B7. Changes to a B7. And then we're on a B7. So we're going to go down a minor third again to G sharp 7, where we will get the same lick we just had on the F sharp 7. Oops. And that pulls us to C sharp 7. The centerpiece of the song. He does this a lot. It's sort of like a climb. It has the feel of like an ascending chord progression. C sharp 7, F sharp minor, B minor. So all fourths, and then we go up. B minor is like the 4 chord, so now we go to the 5 chord, C sharp. That's C sharp 7, 9, and then a C sharp with the add 11, and then a C sharp with the flat 9 and flat 13, and then a C sharp flat 9 or diminished up a half step. A lot of C sharp 7. Finally, we return to F sharp minor. Like I said in the last video, it sounds like we're going to resolve and stay on F sharp minor, but this is where he does a shift. Bar 92, now he changes to B minor, E7, F sharp 7, B minor. So it's like 1, 4, dominant, 5. Sometimes 4 and 5 in a minor key can be dominant. He's always changing. He's very flexible with the different rules you can use. There's the B minor, E7, F sharp 7, bar 93, back to B minor, C sharp 7, with a flat 9, darker lick. And then F sharp minor. Bar 94, he stays on the F sharp minor for a pivot lick. Whoa. Bar 95, my favorite, C sharp 7 lick. Great lick. And then a full 96, bar 96, F sharp minor. Arpeggio 97, we get a big C sharp dominant arpeggio. Bar 98, we get an F sharp minor. And bar 99, we're going to go back to C7 for a long time with those sus at 11 licks and some chromaticism. And 103, we return to F sharp minor. 104, there's a C7 sharp 7 flat 9, like that. And then let me see, bar 104. And what that is, when you first play it, you're like, what is he playing there? It's just a C sharp arpeggio where he's filling in the, there's the arpeggio, right? 9, 8, 11. He's just playing 10, 9, 8, 11. Like a bebop lick. And then back to F sharp minor. All right, now for 106, we change gears a little bit. We have a 2-5-1. F sharp minor, B7, E. We're finally getting back to E. So our F sharp minor is pivoting off the third, the A, the flat third. The B7 also pivots off the flat 7, which is the same note, A. And here's our E. Now bar 109 is F sharp. We're going up 2 frets to an F sharp 7 because obviously we're headed back to B. Brilliant. 109, F sharp 7, great. Great idea. And bar 110, we're finally back to B. Back to B. But it becomes B7 because we're going back to E. But we're on the 5th in a pivot lick off the 5th. There's the D, so we've become E7, pulling to a A / C sharp, the third of A. So now we get a little bit, we're going to stay in A here. A pivot lick off the A, the root. Now that B is not a B, it's an E. It's E/B, from the 5th. Because we've got the E scale here. There's the third of E, and then we do a pivot lick off the E, but now it becomes E7. Pulling to an A major 13, the coolest arpeggio in the whole song. And then to a B7, variation on the same arpeggio, and then that gets us back to E. So we're doing like a 4-5-1. 4, 5, 1. And by the way, that arpeggio starts from the 5, has the 11 and 9. Notice that is like from the prelude. So we're on E, but we can't just rest. Now we're going to take up, he does this 2-fret climb a lot. So we're on E. Now we go up 2 frets to a dominant chord, and that gets us back to the B. Now on this dominant chord is bar 119. It's an F sharp 7. But there's a B in the bass. The 4 or 11 is in the bass. Kind of previewing where we're headed. It sort of softens the, I don't know, Bach just, he hears this. And then now we're in B, bar 120. But we we start on the third. So it's interesting. In bar 119 on the F sharp chord, we had the B in the bass already. Then when we get to B, we don't even play the root. We just start on the third. Bar 120, and now we're back to the same lick from before. This lick, but we're doing it in B. B7, more B7, 123, this is an A, a brief A, B, E, F sharp minor from the third, and if we're on F sharp minor, that means we're going to B7, here it is. Now this is the bar 125. That's a super common jazz lick. On the B7. And usually then you'd walk up to the third V. That type of thing. So 125. 6 gets us back to E. Next bar introduces E7 because the D, which brings us to A, bar 128. E, back to E 129. We pivot off the triad. That's pretty cool. He's pivoting off the 5, 5, 4, 5, 3. That's cool. Bar 30. I think this is an A major 13. Because 31 is a B7, of course. Spells it right out. E. E drop 2. A. 133. B7 with the trill, it's like that, and then the finale. Doubles the E. Now notice something about this final pivot lick. He's finally pivoting off the E. Arpeggio, but at the end of the song he finally pivots with off the E. I mean, earlier in the song he does pivot off of E, but it's E7, to get to that A. But this is like a real official E. That's it. There's so much going on here. Almost every measure is worth studying. That's why I moved it to some of the minor dominant 7 stuff to other keys. The E stuff you can see what's happening. Every lick works, but when you see that pivot that's was measure 129. It's a cool lick by itself, pivoting off the E triad, but pivoting off the bottom. You could also do it off this E right here, It's cool by itself, but when you hear it with the E7, with the A, when it's all put together, it's even more impressive. Oh my God, crazy. How did he think of this? I don't know. I have no idea. There are so many themes repeated here that is repeated so many. When you first play the ending, that whole long ending sequence in B, E, A, and he's doing these sort of like falling down stairs, but it's the way it's perfect. But the more you play it, the more you see what's happening. That he's mirroring licks that have already happened, so they sound better to your ear because they've already been played in different. They're all just variations on the same thing. He's not just playing random lines that sound cool. It's really incredible. You don't really see music as thematic, unless you go to classical. So anyway, that's the breakdown of the E partita in the actual key, and probably the most, full of the most licks. The prelude in G is close. It's just shorter, so I think this might beat it out just by length. But both of them, the two of them, are probably like pretty close. So anyway, have fun with this, and we'll see you all next time.